The year is 1936, and nearly 20% of the American workforce has nowhere to go. Millions of men and women spend their days standing in dirt lots and sprawling lines, hoping for a few hours of paid labor. Without a steady wage, long-term planning vanishes. For countless households across the country, the entire scope of human ambition narrows to a single daily objective: acquiring enough basic food to keep their family alive until tomorrow. This economic paralysis has dragged on for 7 years. The relentless pressure of scraping by, month after month, has left the public deeply exhausted. When an entire nation is consumed by the mechanics of financial survival, their attention stays locked on the ground. People worry about bank closures and bread prices, leaving them completely vulnerable to threats that have nothing to do with the economy. In the rural South, that struggle is even more acute. Mississippi entered the Depression already lagging behind the national average, making the collapse hit its communities with punishing force. Homes are built from rough-hewn wooden planks, offering basic shelter. Children go barefoot, as leather shoes are an unaffordable luxury. Physical currency is exceedingly rare here. To make up for the lack of cash, these rural communities rely heavily on whatever they can grow, build, or repair themselves to maintain a simple existence. Because of this baseline poverty, practically no one in Mississippi has a financial safety net. If a family loses their meager home or their crops, they do not have savings to fall back on. Rebuilding from a sudden structural loss is mathematically impossible. Tucked into the northeastern sector of the state is the growing community of Tupelo. The town relies entirely on the land. It is surrounded by endless acres of cotton fields, farms, and rolling forests that stretch far beyond the few scattered structures. Moving through this landscape requires navigating unpaved dirt roads. Heavy rains quickly turn these routes into deep mud tracks, slowing travel to a crawl and limiting rapid communication with the outside world. But inside the town limits, the geometry changes. Instead of sprawling acreage, housing for the working class consists of identical, narrow wooden structures built densely packed together along the streets. This specific layout, geographically isolated by dirt roads, yet physically crowded inside the town lines, clusters thousands of residents into a very tight footprint. It creates a highly concentrated target. To navigate the harsh realities of the era, the people of Tupelo rely on each other. The sheer necessity of sharing resources and labor has forged incredibly tight bonds between neighbors. The center of this social network is the local church. These buildings act as the primary organizational hubs, regularly drawing massive crowds of residents spilling out onto the steps and sidewalks. Between the sermons and the Sunday gatherings, faith and extended family networks supply the emotional endurance required to wake up and face another day of grinding poverty. This cultural armor effectively shields the community's minds from economic despair, but strong neighborly bonds offer zero physical protection against a kinetic environmental force. Tupelo serves as an active center of regional commerce. Even as the national economy falters, the town's markets and businesses continue to expand their reach across the county. This commercial activity is driven by the railroad. The constant arrival of heavy iron steam locomotives acts as an industrial lifeline, connecting Tupelo directly to the broader American supply chain. Around these tracks, a steady ecosystem of brick-and-mortar storefronts, schools, and supply depots has grown to support the influx of agricultural goods and manufactured materials. The punctual arrival of trains and the reliable cycle of the harvest establish a rigid, predictable routine. People naturally trust a schedule they can observe every single day. Building tracks, erecting schools, and managing trade networks generates a profound sense of permanence. The residents of Tupelo have engineered their environment for economic progress, but that focus creates a dangerous illusion of mastery, masking the massive, uncontrollable forces developing directly above them. The rigid timetables of the railroad and the local markets govern life on the ground. Above the town, however, weather systems operate on entirely different, ancient thermal rhythms. In 1936, radar tracking and severe weather broadcasts do not exist. A community simply cannot measure an atmospheric anomaly until it is close enough to see. The first indication of danger is visual. A towering black wall of clouds crests the horizon, instantly dwarfing the small wooden houses and commercial buildings sitting helplessly below. Every structure Tupelo has built, and every social bond its people have forged, is suddenly pitted against millions of tons of violently rotating air, and the town is completely out of time.